Haya, piga makofi mazuri kwa Yesu kule nyumbani. Napiga rumba kidogo pole 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 pole. Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani kwa Bwana.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Bwana.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Nalisherekea waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Bwana.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Kuna amani, kuna ushindi, twende nyumbani mwa Bwana.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Bwana.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Haya, cheza rumba kidogo pole pole. Asi rumba mudogo mudogo. Aya, nalifurahi waliponiambia twende kwake Masia.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Nina raha moyoni mwangu, maana kule kuna uzima wa milele. Yoyoyo.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani kwa Baba.
Ninasherekea, ninafurahi, maana kule kuna ushindi.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia mimi maji twende twende. Yoyo.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Kama still preach tulifurahi, twashangilia, kuna uzima. Yoyo.
Nalifurahi waliponiambia twende nyumbani mwa Baba.
Cheza, 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 cheza. Oh, cheza rumba. Ale, wapi vigelegele kwa Yesu? Twende, twende,
Nyumbani mwa Baba.
twende,
Nyumbani mwa Baba.
twende,
Nyumbani kwa Baba.
twende,
Nyumbani kwa Baba.
twende,
Kwa Baba.
twende,
Nyumbani kwa Baba.
twende.
Nyumbani kwa Baba.
Cheza. 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 Wapi shangwe na vigelegele, 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 vigelegele.
Well, a beautiful Sunday morning. Karibu sana. Welcome to Sunday Best right here on KTN Home. Always a pleasure having you. Asante sana for, giving us an opportunity to step into your living room wherever you are so that we can have an engagement. Today we are talking about darkness, all right? But not just about darkness. We are talking about light as well. And how do we allow light to come in? Light comes in when we push away darkness, all right? And so sometimes we are in situations where it is very dark, pitch dark, and we wonder, how do we get out of this situation? How do we find help in this situation? And my prayer is that every time we are in those positions, or rather we're in that kind of a situation, let's allow God to come in, and that's light coming in. Amen. But we also have a responsibility, and that's what we want to hear and understand. Today we have a guest who is many things, all right? She's an author, she's an unapologetic believer, she's a coach, motivator. She's also a public health and development specialist. She's into health matters as well, but beyond that, she's also a wife and a mother. So ladies and gentlemen, today we have Nothemba Kula with us. All right. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You.
It's such a joy to be here, Anthony. Thank you for having me.
Right.
It's really lovely.
I've seen you here, there.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to engage with you.
We thank God.
On a topic that is very, you're very passionate about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you've written a book actually on so when this conversation began and we're wondering what topic do we engage in?
Yes.
The title of our book is a topic and a very relevant topic for this.
Yes.
So karibu sana. I guess we will begin from just getting to know slightly a bit more about you.
Yeah.
Then today we'll get to hear your story.
Absolutely. Depends how much time you have. There's a lot to tell.
we will manage. We have a good director. He can give me 1 or 2 more minutes.
Thank you.
Just to engage. But karibu sana.
Thank you so much. It is such a joy and a privilege to be here. And thank God for you and for your ministry. We're getting incredibly blessed and inspired. And, sometimes we underestimate, I was saying to you, how much of an encouragement we are to others.
Right.
But when we watch your life, your sacrifice, the time that you put in, it really also motivates us and encourages us to do more. So well done to you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for that.
Thank you. So I am Nothemba. I know you want to say Nothemba.
Right. So that's Nothemba.
Nothemba. And it's a Xhosa name. I am South African.
Just say that again. It's a what name?
It's a Xhosa name. The people of the clique. This is Southern Africa. We say Iqaqa. Do you want to give that a try? No, I won't corner you.
No. I'm very sure. So you actually speak with click
yes.
proper. You can do 2 or 3 sentences.
Absolutely. Iqaqa liqirha lendlela. This is what we say. Iqaqa. Yeah. Liqirha.
Oh no.
Okay,
oh my goodness. All right.
Well, I'm proudly African and South African. I am Xhosa. I come from the southeastern part of South Africa. And born and bred in South Africa. I've traveled the world, and I thank God for that opportunity. And I think, Anthony, the more you travel the world, the more you recognized how blessed we are as a people, because there's so much going on in the world. We might have our own challenges, but we must also admit that God has been good to us, especially given the history of the African continent. And so I'm proudly African. I'm very confident of my roots as an African, which I think is important, because as God sends us to different places, sometimes we have a tendency to doubt ourselves. We have a tendency to want to be like other people. But when you understand and appreciate your heritage, you are comfortable whichever part of the world God sends you to become a representative of your own country, of your own continent. And so this is the kind of individual that I am. But most importantly, I am born again. I was born again at 16 as a teenager. Okay. I am now in my mid-40s. I'm not going to tell you how old exactly.
Is important. Let's stick with that.
And so it's been an incredible journey with Christ. I got born again at a very dark place in my life. So when you talk about darkness and the importance of allowing God as light to come into the world, this has been my personal journey. My parents got divorced when I was very young, and that shattered me, and I think brought a lot of confusion in terms of my identity. One of the things I struggled with growing up was blaming myself for things that did not go right in my environment, because that's what we tend to do. And in fact, if you're not around people who are mature, they will actually make you feel like you are the cause
Right.
of the problem.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who go through life blaming themselves. If I was a better child, if I was a better wife, if I was a better employee, maybe my job would have lasted. If I was a better parent,
Right.
if we were a better continent as Africa. So there is a lot of self-blame that comes with darkness, that comes with trauma. And I think that's why this subject is so important and so relevant at the moment.
I mean, I have done a bit of conversations on gender-based violence.
Yes.
And many
Yes.
times,
Yeah.
someone who finds themselves in that place
Yeah.
would want to blame themselves.
They do. They blame
I was
themselves.
not in the right place.
Exactly.
This is what I was putting on.
Exactly.
But again, really, when you
Yeah.
get to the core of the matter,
Yeah.
it is not about you.
No,
it
it
is
is
about a
not.
predator elsewhere.
Exactly. And
You
you
know?
know, what actually happens is that the perpetrators of violence,
Yeah.
in order to shift the responsibility, because they don't want to change,
Yeah.
they don't want to grow,
Right.
they don't want to come to a place where they recognize how they contributed to the problem. So they'll say, I didn't want to do anything. You are the one who pushed me to do this.
Right.
I was all good, you know, if you had done this, if you had not answered me,
Right.
if you had not made me angry, then I would
wouldn't
not have done this.
this.
So this topic of darkness and how it brings self-blame
Right.
is at the heart and at the center of many of the challenges that we face, whether we are parents, whether we are wives,
Yeah.
whether we are in leadership or wherever, you know, the space that God has put us in.
That's
So the message that I carry, which I obviously put down in a book that is called Pushing Back the Darkness,
Right.
is about really how to find a place where you are no longer accepting things that you should not be accepting. You are no longer allowing people to blame you for things that you
Right.
did not do.
Is that Christian?
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely
again,
Christian.
we use that and say,
Yeah.
no. You know,
Yeah.
you need to just allow God to do.
Yeah.
It is within God's will. You know,
God's will suffer quiet. You know,
Yeah.
in my studies of the New Testament, and I say this within the book, there is hardly anyone who got healed or who got a miracle without having to push. You know that the scriptures say that Jesus did not perform any miracles, or maybe not that many miracles in
Right.
Nazareth where he stayed, because people did not have the capacity to push. Imagine where there is God who is full of miracles.
Right.
He's full of power.
Yeah.
But because you are not playing your part, he is not able to release what he has for you. Think about the times where Jesus had to heal a man. He could not go into the room, this
Yeah,
man.
right.
The friends, what did they do? They
They
pushed.
That's true.
They pushed. And to
Yeah.
push is to push a barrier. Any barrier that stands between you and what God wants, you have to push.
Wow.
The woman with the issue of
Oh,
blood.
that's my favorite.
What did she do?
She had to, you know,
she
push.
pressed.
Yeah.
That pressing was a pushing.
Right.
So this idea that you just sit, oh, if it is the will of God, it will happen. Imagine if those friends had said, if God wants to heal our friend,
He will
he will
just
heal.
heal it.
No,
Heal it,
they
yeah.
had to push. There is a responsibility that we have, Anthony, to
Right.
play our part in order that God can do his part.
Yeah, you've touched a nerve that is very critical.
Yes.
And probably as you keep sharing your story, it will be great
Yes.
to understand to what levels
Yes.
do I need to get. Do I need to get to a point where I'm very, very tired?
Yes.
Is when I decide, no, it's about
Yeah.
time. Let me
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be something continuous? Is it supposed to be
Yeah.
a continuous engagement?
Yeah.
How do I get to the point where I'm saying,
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore?
You know, there are two things, Anthony, that have been helpful to me in my journey, because
Yeah.
I did say that I got born again at a place where I was in a lot of darkness.
Right.
The first thing is that if you are someone who is surrendered, you know how the Bible says that, and I think it's John chapter 15,
Yeah.
I am the vine, you are the branches.
That's right.
If you abide in me and I abide in you. So the easiest position that will not require you to exert so much force is when you are abiding. When you abide, there is a flow from the vine,
Right.
from the source into your life.
Right.
It is the easiest place to be in. In fact, that's how we do ourselves a favor as Christians. Because much of the struggle comes when you are now removed or you are distant
Right.
to the vine. So the best position to be in is to be connected to the source and to be surrendered to the source. And that's the place where the Bible says that even before you ask, I know what you have need of. Even before you ask, I answer.
Right.
Because you are yielded to the Spirit of God. That's the first position that we need to be in. But the second aspect of it is because, you know, the Bible talks about the parable of the sower. And he talks about the seed. And in talking about a seed, the Bible makes us aware that there are birds of the air. Unfortunately, even though the seed might abide, even though the seed might be planted, there are things that are called birds of the air. If you do not recognize that there are birds of the air that are trying to remove the seed from the soil, you are not going to push, you are not going to chase away the birds. You are not going to be in a space where you are self-aware and you are self-conscious that this is not an environment of innocence. The Bible says that for the weapons of our warfare, they are not carnal, but they are mighty through God. You have to understand that they are strongholds. And because they are strongholds, you always have to be in a position where you are ready to push back.
Right.
Yes, you can stay planted, surrendered to the soil, but because there are birds of the air, you always have to be in a place where you're ready to push.
I love that.
Yeah.
So don't wait. Don't
just
wait. You know,
Don't wait.
it's already done.
Yeah. No.
We are good to go.
No.
I mean, we also have. I like the analogy of the birds.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because they're also there to pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not alert, that clearly happens. There's also something else about the birds.
Yes.
You know, the Lord feeds the birds. But that bird also has a responsibility, right? They will not sit in their nests and wait.
That's good.
For the food to come.
That's good.
They will actually take a step. Yes, the food is ready. The harvest is ready.
Pick it.
But they have to go and pick it.
They have to pick it.
So we have a responsibility.
Yes.
As much as we have sowed and we are, we are working. That yes, we have to take another step. Go pick it. And that becomes a blessing to us. Let's continue with this beautiful story. So here you are.
Yes.
Done with the... So divorce happens.
Yes.
And now that changed a lot of things in your life.
Absolutely. It changed a lot of things. And I think the main one being losing identity and stability. Because family gives you stability.
Right.
Family gives you a place of acceptance. So if you don't have that, you are going to try and go and find it wherever else you can find it. And I'm so thankful to God that I got born again at 16 because I was still in my very early kind of formative stages. I could be, pliable and molded still. And so I found Christ in that space. And the restoration, the acceptance, the love, the redemption. I mean, look, I know I am loved. I can tell you that. Ain't nobody who can ever. I know. Listen, me.
Come on.
I might not have whatever, but I am loved. So in any environment that I go into, the confidence that I carry is not because I think I can do stuff, but it's because I know whose I am.
Come on.
I know who loves me. I know who went to the cross of Calvary for my sake. So I take myself very seriously. When I met my husband, because I subsequently, I got married, and when I met my husband, I said, listen here. Look now.
Okay.
Do you know the work that God had to do in me? For me to become someone who can be a possible candidate to be your wife. God has worked in me now. I take myself very seriously.
Wow.
So I'm not going to give myself to anyone who does not take me seriously because God had to do a lot of work of healing, a lot of work of restoration to get me to where I am. So I think salvation played a crucial part because it affirmed who I am in God, and it closed the gap and the void that I felt because of the lack of stability and identity. And it gave me a way of approach to life. Whether I am at work, if I go to a boardroom, I carry myself with confidence because I know who I am representing. I can't go into a boardroom now and start, you know, being a disaster because my God is not a disaster. Oh.
I love it. So let's do this. Nothemba. Let's take a short break.
Yes.
I love this where you've ended this. Is that I have such a confidence.
Yes.
Because I know who is in me.
Absolutely.
And that, of course, you know, gives you an opportunity to speak, to engage. Because he who is new is greater than he who is elsewhere.
That's good.
In the world, all right?
That's
so we want just to get to understand a bit, how do we then get to push the darkness when it comes to, you know, engagements, matters, career, you know, and family relationships. So those are conversations we'll be getting into later on. When we come back, we are taking a short break. We'll be back. We are with Nothemba, Kula, pushing away the darkness, right here on KTN Home.
Shangwe na vigelegele kwa Yesu. Oh, hakuna linalomshinda. Yote Bwana Yesu anaweza, liwatoa jasho makuhani na wazee hekaluni. Hakuna linalomshinda. Yote Bwana Yesu anaweza, liwatoa jasho makuhani na wazee hekaluni. Hakuna linalomshinda. Yote Bwana Yesu anaweza, liwatoa jasho makuhani na wazee hekaluni. Hakuna linalomshinda. Yote Bwana Yesu anaweza, liwatoa jasho makuhani na wazee hekaluni. Tunainama, tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. 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 Wacha nisikie shangwe na vigelegele kwa Yesu. Walioko nyumbani, cheza na sisi. Haya, twende. Ala chini. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu anaweza. Tunainuka tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Twende. Pole tu. Ale tunainama, tunainuka, tukisema Yesu ni Bwana. Tunainama, tunainuka, tukisema Yesu ni Bwana.